Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan with Iowa Classic Cars, and welcome back to the channel. Today, me and my boy Mikey are going to try to get this 1953 Chevy half-ton to run and drive again. So we picked this truck up about 3 weeks ago, up in Huron, South Dakota. Pretty clean old truck. Needs the basics like cab corners, a little bit of floor repair. We have already been messing with it for a little bit. Not going to bore you with that. We're going to replace the battery cables right away. And the wiring in this truck was pretty atrocious. The guy we got it from was cutting a lot of it out. And we're going to finish it today. I mean, over here it's just a bunch of spaghetti. All these wires, but we're not going to use them, which is good. The engine does turn over, which is really nice. However, we've got a hot wire going from the hot side of the coil there. And this is how the truck is powered. So we're going to do a little better. We're going to put it on a toggle switch. First things first, though, we're going to replace the positive battery cable, which is black, and then the negative, which is red, which is backwards. This is cool because these trucks have a foot starter, and this contact right here touches right here, and that's what starts the truck. So pretty cool. So without further ado here, we're going to change out these cables. I'll show you guys it turns. We'll change this right here, put it on a toggle switch. Going to replace the negative side of the coil because this wire is pretty gross. The copper has some corrosion in it. Now the truck does have brand new spark plugs, new cap, and new spark plug wires. So once we get all this done, we'll see if we have spark and if we have dwell, and if we don't, then we'll mess with the points a little bit and just kind of process of elimination. So let's get started. All right, guys, so Mikey's behind the camera today. He's wheeling and dealing for me. Get that old ground out of there. 2 fresh cables. I'm going to show you guys, if you don't know how these work, they're pretty cool. I mean a rubber mallet because the hammer is not good. There we go. All right, check this out. So these trucks have a pretty cool. Okay, so fresh cables are in. Now let's replace this wire on the positive side of the coil. We'll make a new wire for the negative side. We'll check dwell again, see if we have any there, and we'll go from there. All right, so brand new negative wire here. Got the toggle switch hooked up to the battery charger, 2 fresh cables, and a quick disconnect on the positive side. So I'm gonna hit the key here, and Mikey, let's test the dwell here. So turn it over for like 5 seconds. All right, so we have no dwell. So let's pop that cap off of there and see what we got to work with. Let's see what we got hiding. Yeah, cap's brand new. Button's brand new. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Here, Mikey, I'm gonna have you go turn it, or turn the engine over. The key is off, so we're not gonna have any spark. I just want to see if the points are moving at all. Yep, okay. Yeah, they're moving quite a bit. So let's sand them and maybe tighten them up a little bit here. All right, Mikey, you want to turn it over? Let's see if we have any dwell.
You ready?
Yep. All right, kill it.
Any dwell?
All right, well, the coil works because it, wait, do it again.
Ready?
Yep. Oh! All right, Mikey, just keep going until I tell you not to. All right.
Like, yell louder.
Yeah, so the points are sanded, literally 15 seconds with a piece of, I think that's what, 60 or 80 grit. Go ahead, Mikey. Okay, perfect. We have about 25 to 30 degrees, so let's see if it'll fire up now. All right, let's put the cap back on. Come on. Where's the, yeah, it's right there. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna set the camera here. We're gonna get some gas. Is the camera on? Yep, camera is on. Points are on. Give her a healthy shot of fuel. The gasket is bad underneath here. All right, Mikey. Ready? Yep. Nothing. Go again. All right. All right, let's let the battery charge a little bit here. All right, so tested the points again, and we got nothing. So I wonder if these points are just maybe past their useful life. We'll sand them again quick. Take the adjusting screw, take that loose, and let me just tighten them up a little bit. Mikey, crank it. All right, that made it worse. All right, go ahead. Yep. Okay. All right, so we have determined these points are no good, and for the $6 you can get a new set on Rock Auto. We're just gonna replace them. I had Mikey turning the truck over, and I was dialing it front and back, see if we get any better dwell. And we actually have no dwell now on any position for the points. So, I mean, they are pretty corroded. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but the inside of them is pretty worn down. So, yeah, for what they cost, we're just going to replace them. The rotor button is okay. So, get a new set of points, get a condenser, and maybe a coil, and we'll get back on this thing. All right, guys, so while we wait for parts on the truck, we're going to diagnose an issue on the 63 wagon. Last week, we drove it around, no problem. Drove it off my trailer, and today it does not want to start. If you pour gas into the vent and in the carburetor itself, it'll run, but only long enough for that gas to burn. The fuel pump is pushing a little bit of gas. I don't know if it's just not enough or what the deal is. Maybe the carburetor, the accelerator pump is bad. But anyway, he's here. I've got my gas gauge, or my fuel pump here going to the carburetor. We're gonna hook up the pump. We're gonna start pumping it here. And if it fires up and runs off the carburetor and idles with this fuel pump, we know the fuel pump is bad or weak. And if it still does not want to run, other than putting gas in the carburetor, we know the carburetor is junk. So with that being said, I'm gonna set the camera up here and let's see what the diagnosis is. So I'm fairly certain this carburetor is no good. So I'm just gonna show you guys this quick. A lot more gas than what needs to be on the outside of it, but we'll fire it up there. It's got gas in the carburetor now. Let's hook the fuel pump back up. So I do believe it is the carburetor that's the issue. All right, and then to verify that the fuel pump is working, I've got the line off right here and got it into a bottle. I'll hold it like that so everyone can see. And when I hit the fuel pump, it's pushing plenty of fuel. So carburetor is the issue. We'll pull that bad boy off of there, get a rebuild kit for it, and before too long we'll be back in action on this old wagon. And I guess now, until we get parts showing up, we're kind of stalled, but when the parts show up for the 53, we'll be back in action there. So stick around and stay tuned. All right, guys, so parts finally showed up here, and I didn't film swapping stuff over because you guys have seen me swap points and a coil about 15 times now. However, the problem I am now having is regardless of where the points are set, I have got no dwell, and I've got no spark in the points. Even when you snap them, got no power there at all. So I do have 12 volts coming in to the coil here. I do have a good lead down to the negative side, or the negative lead is nice and new. I have a brand new coil. The cap, plugs, plug wires were new before I got the truck. The points are new, and the rotor button is new because I broke the other one. So I'm going to demonstrate quick. I'm going to see if I can set my camera up here, how to test a coil to see if it's any good. This is the old one, and I'll test on the new one. So let me get that set up quick, and I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is the old coil. We're going to test the primary circuit and then the secondary circuit. For the primary, you're going to set your multimeter to 200. I'm going to put that right there so you guys can see that. And it doesn't really matter which terminals you touch. So the positive and the negative is, come on, 1.5, 1.6. So you want this number to be like 0.6 to 2.0. That's about the spec from what I've been able to find online for a coil of this make. Now we're going to test the secondary circuit, which I'm going to put that to 20K. Take the negative side inside the coil itself, and then doesn't matter which prong you touch. And that is 11.3. And you want that to be between 6 and 20. So this old coil is good, but you know, for what these things cost, I always just replace them. I know people like my friend Mortsky don't, but I guess that's where you differ. So let's do some testing quick. On this coil, we're going to set this thing back to 200. So this one, the primary is 1.7. And the secondary, let's change this to 20K. In there and right there. That is 10.5, so still within spec. So these coils are both good. So that eliminates the coil issue. What is truly crazy to me sometimes is that even with brand new parts, they don't work. So what I did was I put the old points back on, gave them a very, very nice sanding out of the car, which is actually probably a lot better than in the car. Put the old condenser back on. I did test that. I'll show you guys quick how to do that. I'll set the camera up in a minute. Here's the old rotor button that I broke. I'm sure it would work fine, but I kicked this all the way out and then kind of bent this back a little bit. So just got a fresh one. New condenser. And here are the points. So the old one had 2 of these bands and was a little more sturdy of a construction. So I'll keep these around. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but the points look okay on the inside. I mean, they are brand new. They better be. But for some reason, those old points just did not want to work. So I guess the old ones will take their place. All right, I'm going to set the camera up here quick and demonstrate how I tested these with my multimeter anyways. Okay, so I really don't understand electronics that well. That's why my buddy Mike is an electrician and I am not. Pretty much though, the internet was saying to set your ohms to 2 million or 20 million, but mine only goes to 2. And we have an open line right there. So you take your condenser. Oh, that's the bracket, not the condenser. You don't want to touch it. And you want to touch one contact to the wire. Come on. Like so. If I can get it to work. And then the other one to the body. Now, on all the videos I watched, when you do that, this number would start like 1 and go to 8, 16, 32, and then overload or open line, whatever it may be. Mine did not do that. So I looked on the internet and I had a couple guys commenting saying, hey, if it says OL, that's not overloaded, it's open line. And if you test a condenser and this never changes, your condenser's good. So regardless, this is the new one. This one is open line, so it's okay. The old one that is in the truck now also said that, so it's good. So obviously we had a points issue, and you know, I guess when you pay $4 for a set of points, sometimes they work, other times they don't. I just don't know if there's not enough material right here on this rub plate where it can, you know, get a good opening or what it may be. But nonetheless, we do have 30 degrees of dwell, and I'll demonstrate that now. And excuse the darkness in here, because even with all these lights in the shop, inside the truck is kind of dark, and it's nighttime out, so let's do it inside. So here's my key. Power's on. We're looking at the top line there because that's a 6-cylinder. We are right at 30 degrees of dwell. So let's put some gas in this old girl and see if she'll fire up. All right, I'm going to put the cap back on here. I love that I said in the video, oh yeah, the points are bad. Well, next time before I order points, I'll take them out of the vehicle, whatever vehicle it may be, sand them very, very thoroughly, and then see. All right, here we go. Door is open for ventilation. Points are on. There we go. It is as simple as that. Well, it really isn't that simple. That old fuel is really gross. I almost want to I need to disconnect the fuel in two places right here. Well, it's leaking pretty good. I really don't have a fire in here, but take it off right there and then right there. But we'll see here if we can get it to run for a little longer. Camera 2.0. Where is my vent? Well, we know it's going to run, so. Oh, come on. Cool. Glad I opened the door. It is a smoke show in here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's pretty hazy. Nonetheless, though, it does run, which is super awesome. All right, guys, what is super cool about this truck is that it runs. The thing that's not super cool about this truck is that the carburetor is literally leaking more gasoline than is going into the engine. So I am not going to drive this thing around. I know YouTube would love to see that. You guys can see how varnishy the gas is inside of there. I know YouTube would love to see me drive this thing around and all that good stuff, but for the sense of safety and because this is a customer vehicle, I am not going to be driving this around as is. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is shiny with gas here and on the manifold. Definitely not safe to be driving this thing around. Which is super cool though. Well, it's not super cool, but it's super cool because it does run. It's brought back to life. It actually sounds pretty good. And if the customer wants to, I'll order a carb rebuild kit. We'll go through it and maybe change out the fuel pump, get a fresh fuel pump in there, get all that varnished gas out of the lines, and we can actually drive this thing. So, my friend Sebastian over in Liechtenstein, if you see this, buddy, here's your truck. If you want me to keep on going with it, I will. I would love to actually do that. Have another video for everyone to watch. But Sebastian, over in Europe, bought my gold 59, as well as a green 80 Chevy C20, and he wants this truck. So it's going overseas. And I'm really happy because he's a great customer. He's a great guy, and he loves these trucks. I mean, look at this thing. Just an awesome, awesome looking patina. All right, guys, so next week, we're going to work on the 63. Tomorrow, I'm going to start working on the 59 frame, so I'll have a video on that soon. In the meantime, we're done with this truck for the time being until I hear from Sebastian on what he wants to do. If he wants to leave it alone, then we're going to leave it alone. If he wants us to dive into it more, then we will. So if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. Comment what you would do with this truck if you had it. Personally, I'm kind of regretting selling it. Not really. I like Sebastian a lot, but if I had the money just sitting around to hold on to this thing, I would personally leave it as is, change out the tires to stock tires, get that motor to run and drive nice. I mean, the seat is nice. Needs a little bit of floor work, but not too bad. Could just bop this thing around town. I probably wouldn't want to take it on a bunch of long haul drives on the original cooling system and all that good stuff, but just a cool truck to bop around. The stories it could tell being on the plains of South Dakota since 1953. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. My name is Ryan with Iowa Classic Cars, and I'll catch you guys next time.